it's not as much the playing with, because it's more just the being able to play against them sort of every day in training. Obviously being able to watch them when you're not playing as much as you do want to be playing. It's always great to have those players around to watch and see how they go about the business every day. But yeah, and Jeff and Matty as well. The whole sort of midfield group, I think we're very honest. We all work really hard, and obviously each person sort of got the different attributes and different bits of quality that they bring to the team. So it's a pretty good group, and like I said, for me to be able to play against them every day and be able to ask them questions, and I know obviously I've been in the first team a little while now, but I never get bored of asking people questions and trying to get better. I still see myself as still relatively young and coming through in terms of trying to get better. There's always a chance to get better every day, and to be able to have them players around is perfect, and it's great for my development. Yeah, it was really tough. I think it was a lot tougher than I thought it was going to be. The timing wasn't obviously great, just in terms of it meant that I'd done a lot of the rehab. Obviously, when the lads went in, which probably made it a lot harder. There was days where, I'll be honest, I thought as though my knee wasn't getting any better, and I hated it. There was times when I did get down. Obviously, I was lucky that I had my family around, and I'm obviously really grateful for that. But like I said, there was times when I wasn't probably the nicest person to be around, and that's something I regret a little bit because of the injury. That's the thing that annoys us the most when I look back on that sort of period of time, is not the fact that I was actually injured. It's just the fact that sometimes I wasn't really really a nice person to be around. It was a family holiday to Florida we went, and it was obviously my nana, grandpa, me, my brother, my sister, my mum, and auntie, uncle, and two cousins, Jack and Eve. And it was probably the last big holiday we're going to get to go on together as a family. And like I said, I look back with a little bit of regret at that, just because of I wasn't always the nicest person to be around. Like I said, I was going around the parks and stuff, and I was in one of the best places in the world in terms of Florida, and going around the Disney parks and the Universal parks, and I was a bit miserable, to be fair. And like I said, if I could go back in time and change how I was at that time, I would 100% do that. But like I said, even that's made us a stronger person, and made us realise now how to act around family, because at the end of the day, they're the ones that are there for you through the ups and the downs, and the good and bad times. And I know they still love us, and I still love them, and that's the most important thing. I think this season, obviously I've played the last few games, and obviously been a little bit more consistent, but that's something I'm looking to keep doing as well. I'm trying to do as well as possible to stay in the team and play as many games as I can. Coming back last year, there was times when, especially the first half of last season, there was days where I was still sore, and me just wanting to get back playing, because I felt like I'd been out so long. There's times where I might not or shouldn't have played, but I thought there's someone else that's going to want to play if I don't, so I sort of felt as though I had to. The second half of the season, I felt a lot more comfortable, and I think putting some pretty good performances, and then rolling into this year, I was able to get a full pre-season under my belt, a full sort of summer of running, and trying to chase Matty around the field while he was running ahead of us, and like I said, that sort of stood us in good stead. And now I'm just looking to play as many games as possible and put in good, consistent performances. So this is a funny one, because I used to love the Harry Potter series were my favourite. Obviously when we went to Harry Potter World in Florida, I loved it. There's just something about Harry Potter that I love. I think Dwight, he loves it as well, so we speak about it all the time. At the training ground and stuff. But in lockdown, Matty and my brother's friend Ethan, he's called, were like, watch the Avengers films. And for ages I was like, no, there's no way I'm watching them, the whatever they are. They're not Harry Potter, and I never really gave them a chance. And then one night Matty forced us to watch Iron Man, the first one, and then just went from there. And then me and my girlfriend sort of binge watched the all 20 odd films and absolutely loved them. So now I'm sort of torn between the Avengers and Harry Potter. So I think they're the same really. I can't choose between them. It's funny though, because I never thought, especially the Avengers sort of films, I never thought I'd like them, but for some reason I absolutely love them. I bought some like Avengers socks and that, and a little super fan now. That's probably the part of like football that loads of people forget, is like we are just, as much as people sort of watch or play football, we are just like normal people, and we enjoy watching Harry Potter and sort of speaking about it, and as much as other people, and as much as people would expect, we'll be talking about football and talking about scoring goals or what we're going to do the next game or tactics and whatnot. A lot of the chat is just normal stuff like that, and for some strange reason, me and Dwight love it, and we try and get all the other lads to talk about it, but they don't enjoy it as much. But like I said, it's something that me and Dwight sort of have an interest in, and that's what we speak about.
And just to be clear, you do occasionally talk about tactics and stuff at training as well, don't you?
Yeah, just occasionally though, not as much as Harry Potter. Honestly, I've gone even redder talking about this, but obviously me, Freddie and Carl Roberts all went on loan to Kilmarnock, and so it was obviously my first time like living away and having to go and do the shopping. Obviously my mum would normally do that, so I think we'd probably been there a week maybe, and so we've gone shopping, and obviously it was freezing in Scotland, and I've got the trolley pushing the shopping back, and so basically we've put the shopping in the car, and I'm walking back towards like the bit where you put your trolley away, and honestly I get so embarrassed talking about it, but you know, when you're in the shops and you're a kid and you used to like lean on the trolley and it would like go forward, and like it would you would like glide along on it. So I've got to do that in the car park, but as I've done it, the trolley's flipped, and like my hands have got stuck in the like on the handle, and as I've hit the floor, my knuckles have just scraped along the floor, and it was the most painful thing ever. Like I don't know if you can still see them there, but on my knuckles I've got like 3 scars. Like my knuckles were ripped open, and I was like, you know, you're going to a state of shock, and I was like, what do I do? And I tried to like laugh it off at the start. So I was like, obviously they were like sort of themselves laughing, and I was laughing, and I looked around and I was like, oh, thank God only them 2 have seen it. And as I've turned around, this car's just put its lights on. This car's put its lights on, and I can see the family in the car are just in stitches laughing. And I remember getting into the car and just thinking, like, I was laughing with them, and we got back in the house and my knuckles were just like leaking with blood. And obviously I'm quite a shy person anyway, so I've had a tea towel on it like all night, and luckily it's stopped bleeding. So I've woke up and my knuckles are like horrendous, like basically came apart. And so the next day, like, instead of going in to see the physios and say, like, can you put a covering on it, or do you want to do anything? Like, I just literally, because I was so scared because it was new physios, like, I was so scared to go in and speak to anyone. I just sat there and, like, trained with my knuckles that were basically, you could, like, nearly see the bone on them, and it was disgusting. And literally just, like, let them heal normally. But that was the trolley story is probably the most funny, painful, and embarrassing story ever. So now I've got a phobia of trolleys. I never lean on them. I just like, it's funny, like. Funny now, it wasn't at the time. Yeah, it's massive. Obviously, me, my brother, my dad, my friends, like, we'll go and watch No Shields whenever there's a game on. Whenever there's a chance to go down and watch No Shields, we'll go and watch them. If we can do, we'll go and watch like away games and stuff, and the people there are amazing. Like the people that go and watch No Shields they're like me and Matty really. They're from that area. They grew up in the same place as us. the like this, if we see them, we speak to them like we're normal people, and they do the same to us, which is the best bit. We'll go there and we're not like Sean and Matty who play football for Newcastle. We're just like Sean and Matty, which is, I think that's why we love going. But we're really close with Steve Yorkle, who helps run it, and Sean, and a lot of the other people that are heavily involved. And whenever there's a chance to help out with stuff, we're always going to do that. And yeah, obviously we've missed it while we've been in this second lockdown. That obviously their games are being cancelled and they're behind closed doors. But the sooner we can get back to watch them, the better. And obviously something that we really enjoy doing. And I sort of can't wait to go back and watch the games. Not to get into it, but you see fans or you see loads of people at like shops and stuff like that. So it does make you think, why can't sort of them teams have so many fans in? And they've done it before, and I'm sure there's probably less people coming away from the North Shields games with coronavirus than there is doing other stuff. So I mean, for their sake and for everyone who goes to watch, hopefully that they can get back playing with fans there as soon as possible. And like I said, it's great to go and watch. They've started pretty well this season, and like I said, it's always a great night when me, my dad, my brother, and some of my mates go and watch. I think it was Mansfield in the FA Cup. I remember my uncle took us. Obviously, he's had a season ticket for years, and now he's got one with my little cousin Jack and Eve. So they sort of switch which game. So one of them sits in the stands with him, and one of them sort of we get them another ticket in mine and Matty's box. And so now it's funny. I think it was Mansfield in the FA Cup. I'm sure Alan Shearer scored the winner. I think it was 2-1 or 1-0. And so I just remember walking to the game with a Mansfield fan actually, and him talking about their club and not really sort of knowing a lot about them or even a lot about Newcastle when he's just a kid. But I remember walking up the stairs and the stadium sort of just is there and in front of you. And I remember being in awe a little bit and never thinking in a million years, in sort of 10 years time, you'd be making your debut, or you'd be playing there, and being able to sort of play there every other week, which is amazing. And especially when there's fans in, there's no better place in the world to play football. And yeah, that was my first game, and like I said, I'm in a lucky position to be able to have experienced that, and now being able to experience playing there is amazing. In terms of board games, it was, I mean, I think I've told the frustration story before, but like we'd play games of frustration and end up having big fights and stuff. I think a lot of the time there was never really a winner, because if someone was about to win, the other one would just either start a fight or flip the board or whatever. But I think I'm a bit more intelligent than Matty. He's probably got a bit more the aggressiveness and stuff, and if it ever got too physical, I'm sure he used to beat us up a little bit. But now, like I said, we're really competitive in anything we do. Like even the other day, we're training sort of together, and we're doing like a little 1v1 drill, and we're arguing in the middle of that. And my dad obviously stood on the side laughing. So can you two not just get along and stuff? But I mean, I suppose it's just the way we are, like the way being around my dad, who his thing was always about winning. And it's the same with us. All we want to do is win and play, and whatever we do, play or do, we want to win and beat the other one. Which I think is a great trait to have. I think sort of that competitiveness and competitive like juice, you've either got it or you haven't. Like you can't really sort of give that to anyone. And luckily for me and him, we both have it. And like I said, the board games just end up in a few fights. And there wasn't really many sort of winners or losers, because it never really got that far. I don't know. It's a bit of a weird question. I don't think I'm famous. I'd say because I'm pretty quiet and observed, and try and sort of keep myself to myself. Try and like avoid sort of busy places and stuff. But I'd say there's been a couple of things, which was obviously when the Sainsbury's man sort of delivered the shop into my mum's house, and I was just seeing the name, and that was the first time sort of someone had said like, oh, Longstaff, like Sean Longstaff, who plays for Newcastle. And obviously my mum started laughing. Obviously I could hear him, and I sort of burst out laughing as well. And it's pretty weird, I think, but I think it's the first time, like, which was ridiculous, was we go back to No Shields every end of a presentation. And I remember the sort of the first year we'd done it, when I broke through, I just spent the whole night like signing autographs, and like the lines were literally ridiculous. And I don't think the people at No Shields expected it to sort of be like that. I mean, I didn't either. I just thought I go there every year, and sort of, you know what I mean? It wasn't like it didn't make a massive difference, but the first year I went back, sort of having broke through, was amazing. Like I said, I think I was there for like, I think the presentation lasts a while, like 3-4 hours, and I must have spent at least 3.5 hours of it signing autographs, and the other half an hour sort of on the stage giving out awards and stuff. So I think sometimes, like when you see the way the kids look at you, like they've just sort of, they look at you, you know, and you see them like with the shock on their face. It's an amazing feeling knowing that, like, that it makes them so happy to see you. But like I said, it's still pretty amazing to me that someone sees me and thinks, oh, I want to, like, that's Sean Longstaff, when I don't really feel that way myself. So it's it's a good feeling, but still a really strange one. Yeah, obviously it's massive. Like I said, I've got a pretty big family, and the fact that now they can watch me and Matty play for Newcastle. I said I mentioned it before in terms of like going to the first game. The fact that now it's my family that can go and watch me and Matty on the pitch is amazing. And like I've said, obviously my mum, dad, sister, like they're obviously massively or immensely proud of both of them. But I think me and Matty are proud of each other as well. Like I said, there's nothing more I enjoy than watching Matty go on the pitch and be the best player and do really well. And it's funny because when I first broke through, it was obviously all about me, and in terms of like I was thought selfishly and I was always just focused on myself. But now, because Matty's there, like, you're obviously always keeping an eye out on your little brother, and not that he needs us to, but always keeping an eye out on him and watching him and trying to help him. And like I said, obviously I think everyone knows how highly I sort of rate Matty, and people might think it's bias and whatever, but for me, I think Matty is so good. Like, I can't remember who was the last sort of 19-year-old kid to come through Newcastle and done what Matty's done. There's not been many of them, and for me to be able to watch that and say that that's my brother is probably the thing that fills us with the most pride and happiness. For him now, hopefully he gets back fit, and when he does get back fit, for me, he should sort of play every week, and it's up to the rest of the midfielders to sort of fight and play alongside him. That's just what he's earned, and that's how highly I rate him, and obviously I think other people do as well. And like I said, for my family to say that is amazing, and something that hopefully we can do for many more years together. The good thing about the NFL, or the good thing about our team this year, is that we've actually got a few that watch it. So Jeff came in, and Jeff loves it. Obviously, Yed's been from America and been from Seattle, loves the Seahawks and stuff. So whenever I ask him, he says the Seahawks are going to win. But I think you can't really look past the Chiefs, can you? Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill and Kelsey and stuff. Their team's obviously unreal, and obviously they're really exciting to watch in terms of like there's loads of highlight plays and long throws and people going all over, and it's a really good sport to watch. But I think if I was a betting man and had to sort of put my house on it, I'd say the Kansas City Chiefs are probably going to repeat, I think.